Hi guys, thank you for joining me today for another episode of Catalysts and Curiosities, which is a fortnightly newsletter from Meg Journals. And if you haven't come across it before, it is such a lovely project. And each time Meg shares a theme, some snippets, elements and colours to work with. And this week's theme is revisit. Now, if you would like to sign up for the free newsletter yourself and get the prompts too, definitely check out Meg's channel, which I have linked in the video title and the description. It's a very relaxed project, no deadlines, no pressure, just a way to spark ideas and keep your creativity flowing. And I've also linked my playlist to my other ones as well, so you can see what I've been doing in this journal. So one of the things that really stuck with me in this week's newsletter was a quote from Paul Valéry: "A work is never completed, but merely abandoned." And it makes you realise how fluid creativity is. Nothing is ever really done. It just reaches this point where we set it aside. And Meg also shared her own reflections about revisiting old journals for inspiration, and that really got me thinking. Do you ever look back through your first journals or crafty makes, or even the things that feel a little bit messy or unfinished? And there can be something so grounding about going back to those early pages. For me, I've only been crafting and junk journaling for about 2 or 3 years, but I pulled out the very first journal I ever made, this one here. And honestly, it's a bit of a wild ride. I was too nervous to bind my own book back then, so I started with an altered book. I grabbed an old hardback and I just kept adding and adding until it was overflowing. Eventually, I decided it needed a new cover, and in a very questionable crafting decision, I attacked it with a brand new Stanley knife, and let's just say I walked away with a little bit of an injury and a reminder that I probably shouldn't be trusted with sharp tools. Not that that taught me anything, and I still use it on a regular basis. But despite the chaos, I do really love that journal. It was based around the element of earth, so I tried to fill it with things that a forest witch might collect: little natural textures, earthy tones, scraps that felt like they belonged in the woods. And it's far from perfect. Structurally, it's a mess, but it captures where I was at the time. And in a way, that does make it even more special. And I'm doing a quick flip through here for you, but if you want a full in-depth one to see what's all in the pockets and things and my thought processes behind some of the stuff that I've put in there, then do let me know and I will do a proper flip through for you. But it's massive, so I didn't want to do that and this video because they should be quite short. So revisiting that journal now, I'm realising how much of that earthy, grounded feeling does still inspire me, and I think that ties in really nicely with where we are in the seasons. Technically it's still summer, but doesn't it already feel like autumn is creeping in? It certainly does here. The mornings are cooler, the light is softer, there's that little edge in the air that whispers that change is coming quicker than expected. It feels a bit like nature itself is revisiting and reshaping, reminding us that nothing really stays still. So I've taken this earthy journal as the starting point for this week's revisit theme. And I am working in my accordion journal for Catalysts and Curiosities, but bringing across some of that grounded aesthetic and giving it an autumn feel. So I'm using natural autumnal colours and also some jelly plate prints that I made ages ago. And to meet the crop element from the prompt list, I'm taking something directly from inside the journal, ripping it down and layering it into this spread. And I haven't actually told you what the elements are. So the elements are unfinished, crop and pattern, and the colours are around what colours you used in your old work. Were you always drawn to a specific shade that you no longer use? Revisit those colours with a different approach. So for the pattern element, I'm doing a bit of stenciling with a botanical design in the background. And then for the unfinished element, I will be using my Posca paint pens to draw some leaves, but only kind of half of them, so it looks like they're still growing and still becoming. Apparently my white Posca paint pen isn't very good at not splodging everywhere, so I make a bit of a mess here with this, but try and sort it out in a little bit anyway. So you don't have to just chuck stuff away if it doesn't quite work out right the first time. You can just make the most of it and put stuff on top of it. Move over to more of a kind of yellowy paint pen, which gives it that kind of autumnal colourings as well. And this is just the unfinished leaves that I was talking about. putting some flower stickers on top. And also I thought this clock could work quite well to signify the passing of time as we move into the next season. And there's something about clocks and autumn that just feels right. It's like nature's own reminder that everything shifts, whether we're ready for it or not. And it's funny how revisiting an old project can spark new ideas. So what I thought was just a messy, abandoned experiment has actually turned into the seed for something new. And that, I think, is the beauty of this week's theme and of autumn as well. It's about letting go of what's done, carrying forward those seeds and allowing space for the next cycle to begin. So do you have a journal or a piece of art that you might revisit? Maybe it was your first one or one that you abandoned halfway. I'd love to know in the comments if you've ever gone back and found any inspiration in those imperfect beginnings, or imperfect to you anyway. So if you liked what you saw here today and you're not already subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button, and please give the video a thumbs up and leave me a comment with your thoughts. I do love chatting to you guys. And this is the end of the page, so I will be back again soon with something else. And in the meantime, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope that you start seeing some of the changes in the season where you are as well. Bye!